Alrighty.
Hi, everybody. I am Penda James, and you are getting ready to be watching the Resilience Project. Hey, I want to give you a few minutes to gather yourselves and come to the table. We are going to be having an amazing conversation today. And so get your journals, get your pens, and get ready because this conversation is hitting differently for me today because it's real. It's something that I say to people. It's something that I deeply believe that when you are in your pain, that's when you create the most beautiful things. So give us a few minutes. We're gonna start talking officially in a couple minutes. But thank y'all. Thank y'all for joining and for being here. Let us know that you are here because we can't always see who's watching. So we want to know if you're here with us. If you are, put in, hey, it's me or something so we can wave back at you. So,
Sure.
yay. Okay, it's 6:27. To not belabor, if people don't come on time, early is on time and on time is late. That's what I learned.
And late is unacceptable. That's my choir always say.
So I want to introduce you all to Nissa'a Stallworth. So usually I tell you how I meet people. I don't know how I met Nisha. I don't remember I don't know how long we've been connected on Facebook. I don't know. I've been trying to rack my brain all day today. However, what I do know is the impact of her presence in my life, even though we haven't met in person officially. So Nisha is my Zumba instructor. I've only taken a few Zumba classes and I only have a couple people that I own as my Zumba instructors. And Nisha is one of them. And she is a foodie. She loves food and she's a chef. She makes a lot of awesome dishes. I have not tasted any of her food. However, I want to eat through the computer. She loves her mom. And when I did my giveaway this summer in honor of my mom, she purchased a Selah package for someone that she really, really cares about. And that person was deeply impacted by that. And so that sold back into me to see her joy when she was opening it. Like she went through every little thing. And so that made me so excited. That made me so excited. So Nisha, is there something that I did not say about you that you want the people who are watching to know?
Well, I will say that I remember when we got connected. I'll tell you, I remember because it was something that I'm still working on. I think it was through Bernard. I was looking for someone to help publish my cookbook. And I was like, and I think he had tagged you, whatever. And I was like, oh, okay. And then we like just got connected, and like I'm still working on my cookbook years later, but I think it was that moment, and you just reached out to me, and ever since then it was just like, you supported me, you gave me pep talks on my comments, or it was just inboxing, or and I was just like, I just love just the way just the way you carry yourself as far as like business, being an entrepreneur, being a woman of God, like it's just it was just that much. And I'm like, I very much, when it comes to like being an entrepreneur, I'm careful how I share my gifts, and I'm careful how I connect with people. And like, you were one of the people that I'm like, I have to connect with her. Like she's really, she's really about that entrepreneur life and this is about the love of God, really,
Well, you're in my village, and being an entrepreneur is not an easy thing. And so one of the things that Vern did teach us is that you need to have people around you who think like you, who can elevate you, who can push you. I don't know if you've seen, I've been pushing him lately, like, y'all tell him finish his book. So if he comes back and watches this, hey Vern, finish your book. Yes. So My first question, which is not a question that I ask everybody, is can you tell us what your name means?
Yes. Okay, so the history behind my name started with my mother wanting her daughter, and when she found out was having a girl, I think she just wanted her to be wanted to just be her little best friend. That's what she tells me. And so my mom's name is Lisa. She just named me after her. My name's Lisa. And then she comes to find out that my name means strong and beautiful woman. So it's in the Quran as a character, well, as a woman who was strong and was beautiful. And so that's what my name means. Mm-hmm.
I just need you to look in the mirror and say your name every day. That's its own declaration, right? Yeah, when you feel down, just look in the mirror and say your name, and it ought to quicken you in your spirit. That's why your mama named you that.
Yeah, for sure.
She never wants you to forget how powerful you are.
Sheesh.
Okay. Yes, she didn't want you to forget how powerful. Thank you, Mom, because that's powerful right there. Mm-hmm. Tell us what it means to create through pain.
Well, man, I think everyone has had hardships in their lives, and to create through pain for me means to use it as purpose. I think our pain always has a purpose to it, and for me, it's like to use my expression of my individuality through my pain. And every time I go through something, I feel like I always come out with something new, whether it's a poem, whether it's a vision, whether it's something that, God gave me through this, because there was times where I just was like, I can't do this again. I can't do no more pain. I can't do none of this stuff. And it's like every time I come out with something new. And I feel like there's always a purpose in my pain. And so now as I'm getting, older, I'm like, every time I go through pain, I'm like, all right, well, I'm getting ready straight, because this pain ain't gonna be for no reason. So for me, it's just expressing the individuality of my purpose. Everyone has an individual purpose. And for me, especially in entrepreneurship, I'm like, as a chef, I'm like, okay, so-and-so's a chef, so-and-so's a chef. But where do I fit in? Like, my expression and my purpose is individual. Like, I have to look at myself and be like, there's something purpose for you, specifically for you. And so, yeah, that's definitely it.
So the reason why this resonates with me deeply is because as a writing coach, I'm always telling people to write through it. And I have never heard anybody say it in the way that I say it, like through it. I imagine it like, well, you're from Pittsburgh, so going through, the Squirrel Hill Tunnel, like it's dark in there. You can't, it's 2 lanes, you can't get over, you can't cross over. The only thing you can do is just drive until you get to the other side. And so when you came back with that declaration, I was like, I need you to tell me more about it from your perspective, because you create, well, you did say poetry, but you create so many other things as a result of creating through your purpose. So talk a little bit about how creating through pain has been a thread throughout your life.
Well, in about 2009, I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety. Before that, and I've been to counseling. I've been to a few different counselors, and I've realized that trauma, that's a result of trauma. And, I've been to lots of trauma. My mom can tell her testimony of being a single parent, having an abusive spouse, being, on drugs. Now she's 19 years clean, doing that and being a child of that. But then every time it was like, and just the fact that you said resilience is like, I seen her every time get back up and do something else. My mom's a mechanic, she's a nurse, she's a lot of things. So I had to see that, and I thank God that I've seen that, because I was able to express myself, having people in my life who was able to express themselves. you know, you know, and then so after that, having those type of mental, I guess I feel like they're just mental setbacks at times, seasonal. Um, then, years later, I've done poetry, I've been in the choir, I've been miming, I've done all those things. And then I turn around and I get married and I get a divorce. And then through my divorce, I was like, I'm going to either live or die. And so I decided that that's when the Bowl of Life was branched. The Bowl of Life
Okay.
was birthed.
Was that before or after you broke your leg or something? Like,
I tore my ACL on my meniscus. I started the Bowl of Life in 2015.
Okay.
Late 2015. I really worked in 2016. That's when I launched in 2016. And I was like, I need to do this. Like, I still have so much left. I have so much left to talk about. And the Bowl of Life is not just the catering company. It's how you move. It's what does food make you feel like? It's how do you eat when you're sad? How do you eat when you're happy? It's about self-care. Do you take care of yourself? You know what I'm saying? How many times a week do you put you on a schedule? Like, it's really about, it's just so much more. It's about how your family history is. It's about so much more. And so the Bowl of Life was birthed through pain. It was birthed through pain. And I think it was not having a voice for a long time, and I think because I didn't have that voice, and once I got disconnected with that person who took my voice away from me, I said, "Oh, I'm gonna be loud all the time now. Now you're gonna see my vision. You're gonna hear what I have to say." Launching my business, I was nervous. I was like, I probably won't do this full time, but I was like, this is something that I know that it's been in me for so long. I need to go ahead and do this and stop doubting. What if this doesn't work, or what if that doesn't work? Are you good enough? Like, are you good enough to cater? Like, who do you think that you are to open up to do this? And I had to quiet those voices and say, well, I'm gonna do it anyway. We'll see what God do, because my doubt is loud, but God's purpose for me is louder. And so I'm just like, I'm gonna go ahead and do this, and we'll see how it works out.
My doubt is loud, but God's purpose for me is louder.
Louder. I might write that down too. I didn't even think I wrote that down on this paper.
Write that down. Y'all need to write that down in y'all journals. That's good. That's good. That's good.
So yeah, and it's just like, and it's every time I'm knocked down. Every time I'm knocked down, I get up doing something else. I told you. So, the timeline of that is, I launched my business, and I'm doing things. I'm catering, I'm baking this, and I'm at different venues, and I'm being a vendor here and being a vendor there. And at the time, I already had a full-time job, and I get laid off, and I was like, okay. And then weeks later, I tore my ACL, my meniscus. Now, that job I had insurance. I no longer had insurance. So I had to be down fully. I think it was about 6 months. Like, I think it was from January to about, I had to have 2 surgeries. So from January to about July, maybe August, I was like literally rehabbing my knee. And even in that, God was like, but I'm still gonna give you something to do. I was like, God, I ain't got no leg. What you mean? You're gonna give me something to do. And through that, really, me and my mom bond, even though we were already best friends. She was helping take care of me. And even through that, we were going to doctor's appointments, and I started talking about, we started having like little like Facebook lives. That was like the kind of like the beginning of Nissa'a and Lisa. And we were like getting on Facebook journey and like just recording this journey of me rehabbing my leg. And it was about, when I go to the doctor's office, what are the questions you need to ask? And my mother she's a nurse, she was a nurse's assistant. And so she knew all the questions to ask. And she would come to me, and I would be like, okay, let's ask these questions. And there's times where we were like, Now I'm like, hold up, that don't feel right. You know what I'm saying? And they would either they would ignore me or they would be like, oh, it's not that bad. So it's like, listening to my body, became something that I had to do, whether it was my nerves, whether it was my physical body, whether it was the Holy Spirit trying to tell me something. And so we would get on Facebook Live and we would be like, yeah, hey guys, just want to give you a 3-month update. Want to give you a 6-month update of Nisha, what's going on with me. But it turned into advocating for yourself. And then that turned into, yeah, me too. I go to the doctor's office, me too, me too. So I didn't do anything with that. It was more or less like, I just want to talk to the people, and I just want to talk to y'all, and and see what's up with the if I'm not alone, am I alone in advocating for myself? I'm always like ready to rap. Like, if you need somebody to come to the doctor's office with you, I'm coming because I've been there. So yeah, so it's and that was and so what birthed through that was the bonding of me and my mom. We were always cool. We would talk like once in a week, but it came to the point where she started giving me more of her talents, of her treasures, just to see how she, takes care of me, of a household, of herself. And I'm realizing, like, when it comes to our mothers, like, there's so much that our mothers pour into us. And then so even if I never become a mother, I want to make sure that I have a sister. I have I don't have a physical sister, but I have sisters that I can pour into. I have brothers that I can pour into, that I have friends and family members that I can pour into. And so, because I want to leave this world empty for sure, and so there's so much work that I feel like I have more to do. And so
I definitely hope that when you were talking, you saw me writing notes, and the thing that came to my mind when you were talking about your mom was her declaration would be, "I get back up."
yeah.
And I thought, I thought a lot about when you were talking about the medical advocacy, especially with us as women of color. We don't get the attention that we need all the time. So we need somebody who can teach us how to advocate for ourselves. Like, I had a doctor, she was rude to me, and I just put my clothes on and walked out, never looked back. And it took a long time for me to get to that. Like, I got tired of them saying, "Oh, you're obese and you're all these things," but nobody was doing the right tests to find out that I had fibroids, which was causing all this stuff.
Yep.
So when you were talking about your mom and y'all were talking on one of your Facebook lives, I was like, yep, we definitely need to have a sacred conversation about what we as women of color need to do, because the result of how doctors treat us sometimes can be painful.
Absolutely.
And it can cause long-term damage because things are happening inside of our bodies and they treating the wrong thing. Yeah, that's a whole nother that's a whole other discussion. So Mom, Miss Lisa, if you're watching, come on back with Nisha and let's talk about I Get Back Up. Because sounds like you have the traits of resilience and I need to learn from you. Give us some tools, Nisha, before we end up this conversation. Give us some tools. People who may be experiencing some pain in their life for whatever reason. We're in COVID season right now, where there's a lot of grief, there's financial stress, there's all these things that can cause people to be experiencing pain. What would you say to them to help them be creative?
What would I would say? I would say, number one, don't be so hard on yourself. I would say that let yourself have the freedom to create without boundaries, without borders. If that means that you've never painted something before and you feel like something's telling you to paint or something's telling you to create, do that anyways. Don't put yourself in a space or in a box of yourself. Like, if no one's putting you in that space, don't be so hard on yourself. What I've been doing is I just been doing, like, this season I did I did my own pressed juices. Um, and don't let anyone's expectations for you stop you from being the creative that you are. You know, if you see someone doing something, still do it. If you feel like, oh, I don't want to do it because someone's doing it, or I just want to do it just to do it. I don't want to get paid for it. I just want to do it just to do it. Just to have this, to release that freedom, just to release that creativity, do it. So my number one thing is, don't be so hard on yourself. Number two is, just do it. Have patience with yourself. You don't have to do it all in on one day. I'm learning that, I'm not a graphic designer. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that, but I do my little bit that I can, and people love it. And be who you're called to be. You know, um, pray, and listen to your spirit, because right now we're being told so many different things. We're being told, be on this side of the politics, be on that side of the church, be on this side, give to this, take from that, wear your mask, don't wear your mask. You know, you should be right, you should write a whole book in this season, or you know what, take your time, just listen to your body, listen to your spirit. So yeah, so for me, and honestly, right now it's hard because I've been eating everything and everything. And how can I, Chef Nissa'a, tell people to eat your salad and eat your vegetables? And I've been eating a little bit of everything, And so I think it's just not being hard on yourself. Being creative is freedom of expression. Like, there's no boundaries, there's no walls on it. You know, I was just talking to my friend the other day, and I was just saying how, like, just imagine if, like, we tell people to just be one thing. Like, just imagine if we told, I love TD Jakes. Just imagine if he was just a preacher, and someone told him not to write books. Someone told him to not, branch out and do this, and someone told him not to talk about financial literacy because you're just this or you're just that. Like, if someone told you to just do this because this is who you are, break that wall down. You know what I'm saying? Break that wall down. I never thought that after a knee injury, I would become a Zumba instructor. Like, and not just a Zumba instructor, I am a plus size Zumba instructor. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that breaking walls down, that you put up yourself sometimes, is important.
It's funny that you said TD Jakes, because I was already thinking that I wanted to share this quote with you. He said, "When we create, we are most like God." So yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
What do you want people to know about creating through pain? And then tell them how they can get connected to you, how they can get some carrot ginger pressed juice, which I'm really yearning for, or some of your dishes, or how they can take Zumba.
So for me, creating pain, I want you to know that every season of pain has its purpose. And don't be scared of it. As hard as that sounds, focus on the goal, focus on the purpose. One of my favorite scriptures, I don't know the exact scripture, but it talks about, a woman giving birth, and it might be painful in the birth, and then after that, you see the beautiful of a child. Like,
yes,
every pain creates a purpose, and it births something. And a child is going to grow up to be an adult, so your pain is going to create something that's going to be living and breathing after you're gone. And that pain and that person, is going to create something after they're living and they're gone. So your pain is going to be from generations to generations, but it doesn't have to be a negative. It's going to be a positive. And so Bowl of Life is many things. It is pressed juice. It is catering. It is Zumba. It's self-love. It's me time. Everyone knows hashtag me time. They didn't follow me for a while. You know about me time. It is all those things. It's food demonstrations. I do food classes. Haven't done that in a while. I probably will bring that back soon. food demos. It is, I do personalized consultations when it comes to, what to eat, how to eat. I do those on Zoom as well. And so it's so many things. Zumba on Mondays. We're looking for a bigger area. So right now we're at a decent studio. I love the studio, but we need something bigger. Praise God for that. So I have a lot of people inquiring to come, but it's just like we just need more space. So if anybody knows any spaces, let me know. But yeah, Zumba every Monday at APOM, a Peace of Mind. And yeah, my current job that I work at now, I work at Power. And let me tell you just how God works real quick. So I talked about my mom having 19 years clean, and I'm a chef, and so how do those things work together? So I had an interview with my job that I'm at currently now, and they're like, do you have any history? Do you have any history or any type of education in Narcotics Anonymous or any type of rehab? And I was like, actually, I have a history of that in my family. And I said, and it was like, so you have that and you're a chef? I said, absolutely. And they said, well, what about teaching? Are you thinking about, can you teach a culinary class? I said, actually, I've taught a couple classes independently. And so they're asking all these questions. I'm like, actually, I think. And so not only is this job exactly what I've been doing for the last few years, like I was like, what culinary? Should I teach class? Like all these things that God's been having me ordained to do, I'm now doing this at this job. And I'm like, man.
It came full circle.
Full circle. Full circle. And so I'm just blessed, like, I stay busy, but I'm just blessed to know that all the suffering, all the pain has purpose.
Because they're a Christian organization, now you're giving back.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's just, I thank God for that. Yeah, everything all things work together for good to them who love God and are the called according to his purpose.
Yeah.
And your favorite, Angela, she says John 16:21 is your scripture.
Yes. Okay.
So thank you for watching, Angela. We appreciate you. We knew that Nisha wanted you to be here to support her. And if you want to chat with me live, your seat is open too. I just want to thank all of you for watching. If you came here to listen to Nisha and you have no idea who I am Penda James, and I am a scribe coach. What I do is I assist people to get unstuck, execute their goals, and inscribe their legacy. This resilience project is me having conversations with people that I care about so that I can remember the tools that help me stay resilient. I want to introduce my friends to my friends so that we can all do great work in the kingdom. And I also want them to promote themselves so that we can all, as with Nisha, enjoy the bowl of life. So thank y'all for watching. I love you. Bye.